Ready? First, obviously, I got to congratulate Coach Lovelady and Wright State. We saw how tough they were and how well they played in this regional, and I just commended him for the job, the talent they have, but just the freedom they play with, and that they weren't intimidated by the atmosphere, and their kids really seemed free and loose, and that's a compliment, to Greg and his staff. And I know it hurts losing, but still a great accomplishment to make it to a regional final. And as for these guys sitting to my right, and our entire team, it was just a real collective effort this weekend. We got 3 great starts on the mound. There were some games we really busted out with the sticks and scored some runs, and then of course today we won a low-scoring game. So it just shows we got the ability to. You got to pitch and play defense, and some days you can score 10 runs, and other days you can only score 3. So I just thought it was a complete effort, and very happy to be sitting here just having won an NCAA regional, because as we're seeing across the country, it's not easy. You can't take this for granted just because you're the number 1 seed. There's just a lot of parity in college baseball, and you got to do it between the lines. So credit these guys; they did it between the lines this weekend.
Open it up to the players now.
You were just talking about your day, and they were talking about, maybe early on they had a couple chances, and you worked out of some stuff. Just talk about what you thought about your stuff all day.
Yeah, early on I just didn't feel as sharp, as in tune to the game as I could have been, and then I was able to settle down there in the 5th or 6th, and I was able to settle down there in the 5th or 6th, and really get it going. It seemed like breaking ball just seemed to get better as the day went on. And then defense played incredible behind me all day. So really just an overall good game for everybody.
Drew, how mentally enduring was this for you? It seemed like early on in this game it had the signs that it was going to be a grind to get out almost every inning for you.
Yeah, absolutely. After I came in after that 4th inning, I was just like, I told somebody, I can't remember who it was, but I was like, I just hope I can get a clean inning sometime, because I think 4 straight innings they had a guy on second, which credit to them. They put some good swings on some good pitches. I didn't hit spots as well as I could have earlier, but I was able to make the big pitch when I needed to, and then defense bailed me out a lot today, so that was good to see.
Nick, what did you see of the home run?
Hit a fastball, kind of running in. Kind of pitched me same. It was kind of same first pitch as my first at bat. I just got up there ready to hit.
3 RBIs today. How good that feel? Got all the runs.
Yeah, it felt good. Our offense put a lot of guys on base. We were grinding out at bats. We might have been a hit short in a couple of situations, but we did enough to win the game, which is all that matters.
Brandon, you got the nod for the regional most outstanding player. How's that feel?
It feels, great in an aspect, but there are so many great guys on our team in this regional that, could have also gotten that nod. But just it shows what competitors we are as a team and as a regional as well, bringing in a lot of quality teams with a lot of quality players.
For Brendan, Andrew, starters gave up 1 run in 21 innings this weekend. Is this indicative of the level you're pitching, or is there something else that you read into that?
I think it goes back to Coach Williams. He studies the game a lot. He studies hitters, what their tendencies are. What their holes in their swings are, what they are susceptible to as a hitter. But it's just trusting him, whatever he calls. Whatever count it is, no matter what, just trust in him and throw that pitch, because he has a rhyme and a reason to everything he calls.
Yeah, he pretty much hit that on the head. But also, it's definitely a credit to Coach Williams, but it's also a credit to our defense. Just because they were able to make, every play. Like Logan's diving all over the field yesterday. Corey makes a great play out in left field. Devin's just been so solid at shortstop, and Nick with him up the middle. Rosie's just a vacuum cleaner over at first, and then Taberry, obviously it was all tournament team. So we don't have a weak spot on the field, and defense has just been playing great for us all year, and hopefully that'll continue.
say anything to you guys, or was it just kind of business as usual? Because you obviously clicked right back into playing the way you've been playing all year this weekend.
I think it's just business as usual. Just like last year, we didn't play so hot to finish out the ACC tournament. But ACC tournament's just a tough environment. A lot of teams are fighting for their lives to make it to the regionals and just to get in the postseason. So teams have a lot of life in them, and as a team last year that was obviously going to be a national seed, you kind of are a little more relaxed. Not playing with the mentality that you should have going into the ACC tournament.
Nick, and then for Drew, just talk about, I know the ultimate goal is still out there, but to be back to this point and have next week in front of you and to be home, how nice is that, to kind of get over this hurdle?
Yeah, winning a regional is one of the goals on the ultimate path, like you said. But it's nice knowing that we got a whole week of preparation to get ready for next weekend. You're playing at home in front of your fans. You're comfortable playing here, and it's fun, and you make the most out of the opportunity.
Yeah, same. But it's just doing it 3 years in a row is just a great accomplishment and great testament to what Coach Max built, and Coach Williams and Snyder and Vrabel coming on staff with us last year. But really, they're building a monster here, and it's a great accomplishment for us. And I just hope that we all stay humble with it. Don't take it for granted, because it's a true blessing for everybody. Hopefully this year we can make the most of it and go back to Omaha and win some games there.
Drew, it seems like today there were a lot of tough balls. Choppers hit it to Barry and Harrington. What's going through your mind when you see some of those tough balls going their way?
Yeah, I've had defense behind me before, to where I'm not saying here, just in general, I've had balls hit to a guy, and I'm just like, this play's not going to be made, and then sure enough, boom. But every now and then they'll make the play. But
that must have been a Central Harden, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. No, it wasn't at Central. Yeah, we went to state 4 years in a row, man. Now, don't be cutting on us.
You better go back to
literally. 10, 11 years old. Whatever. But no, whenever a ground ball gets hit, it's immediately, I think it's an out. And when it's not, it's kind of a shock, because they're so good, especially on that left side of the infield, and then obviously the right side of the infield is great too. They are just, they're like vacuum cleaners. They get to everything. They throw everybody out. Great throws. But that's why we work on it every day, so we can be great at that.
There's 2 out and 2 on in the fourth, and you try to steal and get out of that inning. It seemed like you pitched differently after that. Is that kind of a relief?
I don't know if I just felt like as I came back in the fifth, I was able to lock in a little bit better. I don't really know what it was. Obviously, Coach Williams called that pick off, so I got to give credit to him for that, because that guy was had a 3-foot lead, and I didn't think he would go anywhere. But when I did the inside move, he obviously was taking off running, and so I don't know if that really got me more locked in, but. It was just I came out in the fifth, and it seemed like everything was working just as well as it had all game or all year for me.
Anything else for the players? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Back open for Coach.
Yeah, you talk about having that goal in front of you and getting. This is a hurdle where you don't want to take anything for granted this weekend, like you said earlier. It's so tough as you see out there to get to next weekend.
You just got to, I've said it before. 16 teams get to play in a super regional. It's such a great accomplishment to get there. Only half can go to Omaha. So you got 8 programs that are sometimes a win away that don't get to go, and so it's part of it. We can't be afraid of the lows, because you're going to have some awesome highs. It's we showed a video yesterday where Muhammad Ali talks about, what are you afraid of? Like, there's no fear. I mean, why are we? There's nothing to be afraid of. Just play and put it on the line. And for this senior class, and obviously the juniors and sophomores. I mean, man, they've put it on the line every year that they've been here. So just really proud as a coach. And Drew Harrington led our chapel today. It's not often we have a player lead and give chapel. Usually it's Chris Morgan, our FCA director, or a former athlete, or a pastor or somebody. And here's a college kid standing in front of the room, heading up the chapel, and he wanted to do it, and he asked if he could do it. So as a coach, it's a good feeling knowing that you've got leaders like that. And he talked about Philippians, forgetting what is behind, pressing on, and eager with anticipation. It was just a great message he had, because he struggled last weekend, and he talked about the outing he had against Virginia. And, as a coach, you felt like, man, this kid's ready. And this kid obviously is mature enough to move past that game in the ACC tournament, and you saw what he did today. So, again, as a coach, you're just really proud of this group and who they are and what they stand for. And, my job's just to keep them online with the process and make sure they come out and have fun next weekend.
Dan, do you guys pay attention to what's going on around the country? And there's been a number of upsets. Do you bring that up?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's the culture, hopefully, in Louisville, and the culture amongst our program and our families and fans that, I mean, you got so many games on TV, and, it's on, like, every TV in my house, and it's on every TV in our offices, the different games and what's happening. And, we're watching all the ACC teams. We're watching our close friends and, guys that we played with or coached with. And you're obviously, following the regional that you're matched up with, because, if you win, you're going to play one of those four teams. So I have no idea where the regional's at now, but, going into today, you knew there was, 3 teams left, and just anxious to see who will play.
Dan, I think Corey was only 4 for 15, 4 for 16 on the weekend. How difficult is it for your guys to respond and pick up a leadoff hitter like him the way they did?
Corey has, done so many great things that, you gotta be able to have just enough guys step up. And, Corey, like a lot of superstars, sometimes you just maybe try a little too hard, and he hit some hard balls. He got off to a great start, so he definitely got us going in the first game. He led off with a hit, and he seemed like he got 3 or so hits that first game. And if that's enough to help us win a regional, then that's enough. He shouldn't have to do it by himself. And it just shows that that we had different stars each day. Nick, his first, I say, game and a half, I guess his last at bat, he hit that double yesterday, and I pinch hit for him in his last at bat. So as a coach, I was like, all right, he just ended with a double, and of course he carried that right into today. And you just got to have enough guys. You don't need all 9 of them, but you got to have enough. And the reason we've won 50 games is 1 through 9, and I've even got a few guys that can come off the bench. We usually have enough guys that are giving us those hits or those big at bats.
What makes this crew of starting pitchers so special?
We know Funkhauser's resume. McKay, short resume for 2 years of college baseball, and then you stick Drew Harrington in there, and Cade McClure. I mean, we had Cade doing the chart. It's a good feeling knowing that, okay, if you don't win today, you've got, a pitcher that, I don't know, so you got 12 wins or something, that, you're going to hand the ball to a guy that is super talented. So you got to have starting pitching. Our bullpen is good. We didn't get to use a lot of it this weekend. And then, of course, with Zach Birdie as the closer. And those guys said it. They're bright kids. They talked about Roger Williams. and they talked about our defense. So you combine those three talented pitchers, a great pitching coach, and we've been saying all year we feel like this is the best defense maybe we've ever had here. And you saw a lot of great plays this weekend, and those are rally killers, So, we feel like we got a chance to keep teams from scoring, and we were able to do that this weekend.
When Kyle said he's coming back, you knew that pitching staff was going to be good. Did you have any idea they'd be this good?
We're optimistic going into every season. You never know how it's going to shape out, but McKay did what McKay did, and Funk did what Funk did, and Drew had to step up and be that weekend guy, and Cade had to step up. So you got to have enough guys step up, and this season will be over before you know it, and we'll be preparing for who are the pitchers next year, and making sure guys are ready to step up.
How do you balance the workload as you get deeper and deeper in the season, and the games are more important as far as the starting pitchers?
Yeah, if you look at Coach Williams' resume, that's always been his strength. In my opinion, we're good during the year, and some years we're great, but we're always very good in the postseason. If anything, we seem to pitch at a high level, and that's just, he's got that game plan from they start throwing in December, and they got to be at a certain point when they come back to school in January, and he's on top of those pitchers. This has been 6 months going now as to from the first time they started throwing to controlling their pitch counts and their workloads, and making sure that they're at a point in the postseason where they're fresh and ready to pitch at a high level. And you saw that not just this weekend. I think traditionally you've seen that from our clubs.
You pulled Drew with pitching a shutout. Was he at a pitch count?
Yeah, I think he was close to 100 pitches, but we've got Zach Birdie, in the bullpen that hasn't thrown an inning yet, and he struck the lefty out, the leadoff guy, and you had the righties coming up, and it was just a good time to bring Zach. And Zach has pitched, I say 2 innings a handful of times, especially in the last month. It seems like we've been getting him ready for this, coming out in the 8th and being able to throw the last 2.
Remember a lot of guys getting an ovation for a warm-up pitch?
No, I haven't. I guess his brother Nick probably got a few during his time, and it's still I'll still shake my head. There's only so many people in the world that can throw a baseball that hard, and but he's doing it with location, and he's got movement, and he's got other pitches, so it never gets old. And I realize, like a lot of these guys, my time's running out with this crew, so I better enjoy it while I still have them.
What the atmosphere again today, and
Man,
this weekend as you move forward, and people are going to buy their tickets for next week. It was
I get more compliments about our atmosphere than anything else, just from friends and family. It's really cool because I don't know what they see on TV because I'm in the dugout and I love my view, but I'm always curious as to what the rest of the country is seeing when they're watching us on TV, and it's really neat. All the text messages I get about what an atmosphere, and so it's they asked me in the in-game interview about that atmosphere, and I credited Skip Bertman, but what I should have also said is Mike Bianco at Ole Miss, because I was witnessing that when I was there, from when we got there to when I left 6 years later, and we went there this year, and anybody that went down there saw that atmosphere, and we took that foundation, that system, and brought it here. And so as a coach, I'm really proud of our fan base, and their knowledge and their passion, and it means a lot. It means a lot to our kids, man. It is fun to be a part of.
Two-strike clap, okay for you?
I love the 2-strike clap. I'm going to try to get them to stand up a little more, though, next weekend. It's super regional now, so, I'm going to try to get them the, 2 strikes and 2 outs. We gotta be on our feet, kind of like we were in that 9th. I'm going to see if they can stand up maybe a little more. So we really do. We really appreciate it, man. It's awesome.
Dan, with Birdie, he got hit hard a couple times tonight. Do you notice stuff about him out of there? Does he stay pretty composed when he does let a few guys?
Yeah. I think you saw that. You're facing a team that's with elimination. I mean, these kids, they're walking up to the plate. They're not going down easy. I mean, they're going to get their swing off, and Coach Williams will always watch the film after. Maybe he didn't make a great pitch or two. He probably didn't hit a spot or two that he would have liked, and didn't think it would be any different. You knew these guys were going to swing, and it's not going to be easy. That's why, getting the last 3 outs of a game, man, it's one of the challenging things in sports, and that's why the closers, have that star power about them, because if it were easy, anybody could do it. But, man, it takes a special person, special talent, special toughness to get those last 3 outs, and we knew it was going to be a fight.
You mentioned Cade charting. How do those pitchers help each other?
Coach Williams always has 2 starters usually behind him. So one guy's doing the spray chart, one guy's doing the pitch chart. And, the guy usually at a disadvantage is the Friday night guy, because, he's going in. I say blind. He's watching video and meeting with Coach Williams on the scouting report. But, the next 2 guys get a chance to see the lineup 3 or 4 times. And not just them, but Coach Williams gets to see the lineup 3 or 4 times. And so, before anybody runs out there and starts a game, they usually sit behind Coach Williams and they chart. The challenging thing in a regional, though, is, sometimes you don't get to see it. But knowing that if Wright State won that game today, Cade is pitching against a team that he pitched against earlier in the year, and he sat there and charted the game, making sure he talks to, Coach Williams will talk to those guys, making sure they put the right pitch down and making sure they understand why we pitch a guy a certain way.
Are you inclined to go with the same rotation next weekend, or does it depend on who you face?
There's no reason to rush to make a decision. You don't know if you're the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday yet, and you don't know who you're matched up with yet. So, like we did coming back from the ACC tournament, let's just wait and see, and make sure everybody feels good and see where everybody's at, and let guys get on the field, and so there's several factors that we'll wait before we decide.
What have you learned from the previous super regionals that you might have thought, this year I really want to try to apply it to the coming days, if anything?
Yeah, I don't know. That they're a dogfight. That like I said, 8 teams will go to Omaha, and 8 teams are that close, and so. Like the guys said, we just have a great week of preparation, stick to the process, and run out and play good baseball. So we're very honored to be hosting, what is it, our 10th NCAA postseason event. Man, that's like I tell our kids all the time, man, that's one of our, if not our greatest accomplishment. I mean, to host 10 NCAA events in 10 years, it's not easy. And it is not easy. And I think Drew said it, man, we're not going to take that for granted. So they're a mature group, they're a professional group, and, we'll enjoy practicing. The kids, I said it out there, man, I love practicing. So we will do a lot this week.
One more question?
Coach, since you've done this process so many times, does it help that you've been here, that you've done that?
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't guarantee anything. We won our Super Regional in 07, first time being in it. So, I mean, it's just, but I try to have a peace of mind and trust the Lord, and like I said, enjoy this. Just enjoy this, and trust our players and coaches, and get ready for a big weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.